Want to sign themselves there.
Commissioners, good evening. For the record, Vlad with Kootenai County Community Development. I am the planner assigned to this case. I'd like to state into the record that I have received several phone calls from the concerned citizens who reside in Bayview with a request that I make a contact with the Highway District to inquire whether they would submit additional comments or they would clarify the latest proposal that they submitted on June 9th of this year with regard to one-way street south of the project site. I have explained to those individuals that while I can make a phone call, I can't dictate or influence them to provide any additional information than they already have. We are bound by our regulations. They are a separate entity. The Highway District Engineer answers to his own Board of Commissioners. And so we have to oblige by what are the regulations in our Land Use and Development Code, and we have to accept the conditions or the comments that are submitted by jurisdictional agencies. And in many cases throughout the years, we have to sift through those comments, and in some instances, we do have to eliminate those comments that perhaps are not addressing impacts or mitigating impacts. But for the most part, when it comes to highway districts, I would have to say it's very rare, almost never the case, that we remove any of their requirements or we enforce something different than they would submit in their letter that's an official letter from signed by the district engineer on behalf of their board. So we have very little wiggle room to deviate from what the agency would say. And I'm not taking a position for or against. I'm merely stating the facts that we just don't have the luxury to deviate from what those agencies, specifically the highway district, may impose or may not impose. I know that in their original letter, they clearly stated that they wanted this secondary access point for better circulation as well as for emergency services. They stated that it would be for the betterment of that area if the applicant were to provide secondary access. So with that, if you have any questions, I can address them, but otherwise just wanted to make it very clear on how we proceed in our regard.
Madam Chair, I would just tag on to that part of the issue here is that Lakes has final authority on signing the plat. So if they refuse to sign the plat, it's effectively a denial.
And one other point related to that is that there was testimony that brought up that suggested the council for Lakes Highway District was misinterpreting the law. I'm not going to second guess Ms. Weeks' opinion. That's between her and the district. And regardless of what the law says or doesn't say, the district has the right to say, no, we're not going to put a gate across the road.
That's their position.
Thank you. Right. I have two more people wanting to speak now. So, hang on a second. Yes, for or against? Against. Okay, come on up. Do you have your purple sheet?